is Rotary opens opportunities. You know, it looks like that. It's the doors, so you'll be seeing more of that concept. And it's the Rotary International president, whom I met, Holger Knock. He's a great guy. He's the right man for the year this year, and I think that the theme that he selected will play out well for us this year. I'll just say that. And also, before I forget, I want to encourage everyone to please update their photo and information on DACDB. Hopefully everyone's familiar with DACDB. If you're not and you need any help with that, you can let Patty know. She can get you on. It's not that hard. The more familiar with it, or the more you do, it's like anything. The more you do it, the more familiar with it you'll become. And you'll find that it's really a pretty great resource. It can be kind of overwhelming at first just because there's so much on there, much more than you might ever guess, frankly. And but you'll be able to track Rotary worldwide and just within our district and our club. And if you have any interest at all in what's happening, it's all there. So I would encourage you to do that. And then I think that before I go any further, I would like Lynn Bowman to introduce our visitors and guests. Lynn?
Sure. Do we have any visiting Rotarians on the call today? If so, please unmute yourself and give us an introduction. No? Okay. How about anybody with guests?
Looks like it's just us. Not that that's a bad thing, right?
Just the family. All right.
Good.
Thanks.
It's family oriented. So Lynn, you're going to sing that song?
Oh, I didn't realize I had to sing the song. I would have.
I'm
not
sorry, I
done
couldn't
that.
resist. No, you don't have to do that.
We hear it.
Yeah, not today, but if you have any questions, you know, Dean knows all the lyrics to any song, including that one, and he's happy to coach you if you need any help with that.
Okay, for the next time.
Yeah, exactly. Next time.
Thank goodness there's no guests today.
So I wanted to catch everybody up in case you aren't aware of who your current board is. So I'm just going to run through that real quick. So that's Greg Anderson, Vicki Lynn Gloger, Ryan Maloney, Jay Plotkin, Leslie Red, Dave Armentrout, Benford Samuels, Lisa Marie Winslow, Julia Kalimpi, and Gary Wilkinson. So those are the people in charge. It's not really, so everyone can just breathe a sigh of relief now because, you know, it may not be as scary as you were thinking. And then to that end, our incoming officers, just as a reminder, your new president-elect is Richard Dow, Secretary-Treasurer Charlie Kofer, and Sergeant-at-Arms is Greg Anderson. So yay. All right, so I think that I just wanted to start with a couple of things, and you know, the Rotary new incoming president, you know, you're ready to hear what all these big goals are, and so this is a different year from a goal standpoint. We're going to start by saying one of our first goals is going to be to maintain and grow, but to maintain our membership this year. We've got a nice number, and that's great. It's going to be a challenge. I don't want anyone to think that that Rotary can't be everything it's always been. It's just going to be like a little bit of a different perspective for us this year. And I want us to still, and we will, maintain interesting and fun meetings that are worth your time. Everybody is about zoomed out, I know, and even though we definitely want to be able to offer live meetings as soon as is reasonable and healthy and safe, you know, the way the situation is looking here in Jacksonville right now, that's certainly not going to be tomorrow. So, or next week, I should say. And so we want to be sensible about that. And so I would be encouraging everyone's input. I'm all ears. Everyone has all of this Zoom experience. And so if there's a way that we can make this more valuable and more relatable and have more meaning, then believe me, that's what we want to do. I mean, I've been under the impression all along that the only the only really good part of any Zoom meeting is brevity. So you know, we would like to try and maintain that as well. But we want you to look forward to tuning in and not think, oh gosh, here we go, another Zoom meeting and a Rotary Zoom meeting as well. We're going to also follow and continue to implement our strategic plan, and which has just been updated thanks to President B, and so past President B, and so that will continue as well. Not that that should be any big surprise to anyone. And then also this year, we will be working toward really emphasizing our philanthropy and stressing the fact that you know, that we are a service organization above all else. So I'd also like to start by celebrating past President B. It's been an amazing year. The Rotary Club of South Jacksonville has a lot to be proud of over the past year. So congratulations, President B. All standing, believe me, this would be a proverbial standing ovation for you for this past year. And it's such a pleasure to see you here. I'm sure you're really enjoying the chair you're in now. Right. So that's good. It's well deserved, and we can't thank you enough. And you know, we'll all be relying upon you in the coming year, especially me. So, you know, no ghosting my calls or emails or texts or anything like that, because I know where to find you. I've been to your house now. Right. You can run, but you can't hide. Really, truly, thank you. And I'd like to thank all of our past presidents now, and the generous support that each one of you has given to our club. I mentioned this at the past president's luncheon and our board meeting luncheon, our little combo, that you know, each Rotary president brings their own gifts and perspectives to the club, and for that reason, you know, each administration, you know, it's not good or bad, it's just different. And you know, granted, I may well win the prize for different this year, but we'll see. We want things to seem as familiar as possible, but we're undeniably facing just an entirely different scenario with regard to all aspects of our lives, and the club it's just unavoidable. Thank goodness we have Patty to help keep us in line. So yay, thanks for coming back, Patty. Heaven knows we couldn't do it without you. And but I also want to say that, you know, when we talk about different, it's you know, different isn't a bad thing. Different can be very inspirational and motivating and encouraging. So we all need to just embrace the aspect that it's just not exactly the same as it was. And I'd also like to remind everyone that I haven't used that scary word change. There's a difference between, you know, different and change. So so everybody can exhale, hopefully. When I attended the PETS training, President-elect training in March, as I mentioned, I had the opportunity to meet and chat with RI President Holger Canuck. And Holger's theme, as I've shown you, is Rotary opens opportunities. And Holger says that Rotary isn't just a club for people to join, but rather an invitation to endless opportunities. He believes that Rotary creates pathways for members to improve their own lives, as well as the lives of those that they help through service projects. Holger says that our acts of service, big and small, create opportunities for people who need our help. So this will be a year of service more than anything else for the Rotary Club of South Jacksonville. We already have our own proven pandemic prototype with the highly successful disaster food relief project we just completed last month. All of the planning and fundraising was executed online. All of the pickup, product organization, logistics, and deliveries were carried out with sweat equity by our own members and volunteers to gloved, masked, and socially distanced perfection. We were able to provide $17,000 worth of food to Jacksonville's 6 neediest food pantries. If you're a numbers person, each delivery comprised almost 1,800 pounds of food. That's almost a literal ton, 6 times. That, my friends, is truly making a difference. And I want everyone to just consider that we were able to do that via the Zoom you're looking at, you know? And as thankful as we all are to have the opportunity to meet together with Zoom for as long as is needed, service projects will also offer us actual fellowship together as club members, whether that's live, whether that's email, whether that's over the phone. It's something different than this. So I want everyone to understand that it can all be as relevant as ever before. And this is another thing that I said at the luncheon. It's like, who knew 6 months ago what a gift our weekly live lunch meetings at River City Brewery really were? I mean, that's a healthy dose of a different perspective. What I also want to do is I want us to hold a service project rally one evening next month where members will pitch new projects and fundraisers for everyone in attendance to vote on. So you have to be live and with us to participate in this. So everyone will have a 3-minute limit for your pitch with a 3-question limit from the rest of the group to clarify any points that may not have been clear in your 3 minutes. And this will most likely still be Zooming. A show of hands is challenging, so we can hold a written vote and Patty can, let us know our results right then so we'll know where we stand with it. I hope for us to be able to take our top 10 projects, depending upon the scope of scale and the scale for the year, and that way the members, and more specifically those in attendance, we'll be able to determine our year's service and fundraising plans rather than something, questionable your president may have come up with. I can pitch the familiar projects and the historical ones we have if that's necessary. So also this year, I'm looking for each one of us to be responsible for 25 service hours. That's an average of about 2 hours a month. That means that we could log over 2,200 service hours for the year, and that's a lot. This can be hands-on sweat equity at a service or fundraising venue, planning time via phone and email, time spent thinking about ways to implement projects, or just showing up at a location to drink coffee and straw boss everybody. I don't care how you do it. I'm looking for engagement and participation. You'll be a better person for it, and the community as well as Rotary will benefit. There'll be a member of our membership committee who will keep the log, and you're responsible for reporting your own hours. We're not going to be chasing after you. So you may ask, why would I want to do that other than Rotary as a service-based organization? Well, I'm going to offer you some incentive. Since you didn't send me to Hawaii last month as the Rotary International Convention was canceled, I seem to have some discretionary funds available for service inspiration. We'll just call it that. Our top 3 service hour winners will receive Ruth's Chris Incentive Awards. First place is a $500 gift certificate. Second place is a $200 one, and third place would be $100. And if the winners would prefer a different award other than a restaurant award by next June, then we're happy to work those details out. The other side of the incentive coin is that each service hour is worth $10. This means that members are responsible for $250 in charitable service this year, above and beyond any project-specific costs or fees. In other words, this doesn't cover tickets to possible events, and if you only perform 10 hours of service, then you'll be responsible for the balance of $150 in charitable funds. If you aren't inclined to perform any service this year at all, then it will cost you $250 so we can do something charitable for you. Rotary opens opportunities. All right, so on a personal note, for those of you who may not know me as well, here's my craft talk. Professionally, I've been in the interior design consultation field here in Jacksonville for over 35 years. The uninitiated always think that sounds so glamorous. Yeah, maybe, but as you know, you're only as good as the execution and implementation of your ideas, and that's where all the time goes. I do feel fortunate that I only work for the nicest people. I don't have to accept every commission anymore, and I've made so many good friends that I originally met as clients. I've lived here in Jacksonville for almost 40 years now. I met my wife Melinda here 35 years ago, and we've raised 2 grown children here in San Marco, Amanda and Brendan. We've also been a golden retriever family, and now we have Tally, damed by my kids, who are FSU grads. So I'm a Vanderbilt graduate, which is, such ancient history now. Although I think I might have been there with Bob Massey, although I'm sure I'm much older than he is. I met Bob through his parents, who were friends of my parents. Many of you will remember Bob's dad and fellow Rotarian, Bob Sr. As a matter of fact, all of my parents' close friends were South Jacksonville Rotarians. Bob and Mary Alice Massey, Hobart and Rita Jost, George and Joanne Linville, Jean and Dick Motney, and those were just the ones I knew about. My dad, Tom Sr., is a Rotarian and past president. I'm wearing the pin he wore right now. As you can see, I have a rich history with this club. Although I was late to the party with my own membership, it really means more to me than you'll ever know to be here in front of you today as your president. I know we'll have a great and successful year, and it's not because of me. It's because of each and every one of you and what we will achieve together. That's it. Yeah. So I do want to also say that, well, I just need everybody in on all of this year. I'm listening, your board is listening. We want to make it more successful than ever, and we can't do it without you, and we can't do it without your help. And so if there is any possible way for us to know about it, you can probably see that I want everybody all in, then we're ready and we want to hear it. So, anybody have any questions for me as I'm looking at my chat screen? Yeah, Dean, yeah, I was at Pets twice, right. Not saying I needed to go twice. I think I did need to go twice, but I'm glad you were there, right. But who did graduate? Yeah, I know. Yeah, that's my little secret. Exactly.
Jake Rush had a suggestion. You might have to scroll up on this chat a little bit.
Yeah, here we go. Okay, so Jake said I would use a referral list that shows all our membership and their businesses so I can refer business to them. Maybe you mean I could use, yeah. It would also help me learn a little bit more about each member. Yeah, no worries. That's certainly something I think that we have. Didn't we, President B, have a lot of that? Past President B already put together, I think. So sure, we're happy to provide that. So, and Dean's like, Tom, can you tell us about the major committee chairs? So I will, this brings me to a reminder about next week. What we want to do is we're going to send out in the mail, or not in the mail, gosh, email to you this week. Patty's like, what is he going to say? Here it comes. Yeah. So I know the various committee breakdowns and the avenue breakdowns, because next week we're going to have chat rooms that you can join so we can talk about, get everyone's direct involvement so everybody can be on the committees they want to be on. And so between now and then, Dean, you'll be able to know who the chairs are. And then, of course, by then, you'll be able to move in and around the rooms themselves so that we can generate interest and get people signed up. I want everybody, you know, I don't need to go through the list and assign people to things they don't want to do. I want everybody to get on board with where they want to be. And then if you don't do it, I'm going to go through the list and assign you to things that you don't want to do. So, so you know, now's the time. And let's see, Gary Wilkinson, what's the status of meetings being at River City once we start back up with in-person meetings? Okay, so so here's the deal. At River City, they will host us in one of their rooms. Let me start with that. We have to have 25 people who are willing to go back for that to start. And we can't have a live meeting with less than 25. I don't know that we need to have a live meeting with less than 25. And then I'll also say when we do go live again, we'll be streaming the meetings live so that if you can't be there, don't want to be there, don't feel comfortable being there, you'll still be able to watch and participate in some manner. And yeah, Vice President Bill's laughing. You're in charge of that, remember? Right. So so that's how that will work. But the thing about River City is that they will be able to host us with a covered plated lunch, but it will all be the same thing. There's no buffet. That's as big a historical concept as shoulder to shoulder at the bar. So that'll be something you can all tell your grandchildren about. But that offers us a single choice unless you have special dietary requests or needs, and we'll be able to accommodate that. And that they're able to do with the same format, the same table linens, and you know, beverages and flatware and all of that, and service, you know, service staff for the same price, so the price doesn't go up for us to be able to do that. And so that is the perhaps easiest way to go back or to get started, maybe the most familiar way. We're still researching venue opportunities and changes. There's another survey that you took today, which is working toward our goal and identifying the future of how this may work. And then we will be able to come back to you with choices based upon travel and venue and meals and times and all of those things to see what seems to make the most sense for the club. And but I mean, I don't want to be coming to you and going, hey, we're going to wherever and it's gonna, you know, raise your dues by, you know, $10 a meal. So and if that happens, you know, if you guys want to decide that that's how you'd like to do it, then you'll be able to, but we'll offer you those choices. Does that kind of answer things for you, Gary? I don't even see you on here. Hopefully that's a yes. Okay, and Jay, hail and farewell in Hawaii this year to make up for your trip loss. Yeah, privately. Thanks, Jay. Yeah, that would be great. Let's see, Les. If you want to make your 2,200 hours, you can easily do that by joining the oratory. So true. I mean, really, so true. I mean, there's no such thing as becoming too active in everything that we're doing. So, so yeah, I'm all about that. And yeah, Steve Madden, good one. Yeah, it is a good one. Okay. So, anybody else have any other questions or comments for me, or thoughts at large? Thoughts for improvement? Regrets that I'm in front of you? No, it's like, you know, nothing. Okay. Well, then, you know, I'm happy to move forward then. So that's what we're doing. All right. So I will remind you next week our speaker will be Cindy Covington, who is a co-owner of someone we know here, and she's going to tell us about hand wash, which will be a little something that we might be interested in knowing about before we start talking about some of our service projects. And also, too, I want to remind you about coming so that you can be a part of signing up for whichever committee seems to make the most sense. We want to get that wrapped up and moving forward as well. I'm looking forward to everybody telling us what they're the most interested in. And I want to thank Barry for starting us off today. And I want to thank Lynn for, for our, no one's here, but you still made the speech for us, so that's good. And I'd like to thank everyone for being here. And I'd like to end our meeting with our motto: service above self, one profits motive, two serves.